Hello and welcome to episode 13 of Inside the Video Store. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching the last episode, which went down a storm for some reason. All 45 minutes of it. Crazy that you're staying for that amount of time. It is bizarre. But I'm pleased that you're watching it. It's really, really cool. And thanks again for all your feedback this week, which again has been just phenomenal, just brilliant. Gonna sneeze? It's passed. Lots of good stuff this week. We got an on-tour section that looks at somewhere that nobody really checks out. We've got some really cool films on loan and a themed Sleeping Giants section. But for now, let's have a look at the fresh produce. See what's in. It's a very classy week, to be honest. I'm really pleased about this. There's some good stuff. First up on Blu-ray and DVD, we have Imaginary. It's another Blumhouse. They tend to trundle along every couple of weeks. And it's a storyline where a woman returns to her childhood home and her daughter, and she discovers her daughter's imaginary friend is not quite imaginary. Sounds really interesting. Jeff Wadlow directed it, who put out stuff like Fantasy Island, which came out just at the start of COVID and no one really rented it. It's one of those films I had on the shelf here just for like 3 months, and obviously no one was allowed in, weren't allowed to open, so it just kind of sat there. And then when we did open, it was too late. It kind of passed by and nobody really rented it. So yeah, Fantasy Island he directed. He also directed I think, was it Cry Wolf was his first film? That was pretty good. That was pretty good back in 2005, which is nearly 20 years ago. Shocking. Variety called it a watchable mess. But still, it was enough of a watchable mess to earn $40 million at the box office. So that is this week's big film. Another big film in this week that personally I can't wait to watch it. It's Lisa Frankenstein. It's the directorial debut from Zelda Williams, daughter of Robin. And it's also by a script from Diablo Cody, who wrote some phenomenal films like Juno, Young Adult, and also Ricky and the Flash, which I really, really like. I think that's a really underrated film. So yeah, a great creative twosome at the head of this, and it centers around a goth girl who develops a relationship with a reanimated Victorian corpse. I mean, we've all been there, so you know. Big deal. But yeah, it sounds absolutely amazing. Didn't make a fortune at the cinema, but who cares? Because it's now on Blu-ray and DVD, and personally, I can't wait to watch it. What's up next? I'm going to mispronounce this guy's name rather epically. It's Curator Hirokazu. It's his new film, Monster. You may know him from directing just a slew of ridiculously good films, like Shoplifters, I Wish, Like Father, Like Son. Just a phenomenal career. So this is kind of a simple premise whereby a mother is quite suspicious of her son's behaviour, so she confronts his teacher. And that's kind of it. But as the film stage said, it kind of takes you into a maze of limited perspectives, crafted by loss, misinterpretation, and rejection. So it's a pretty deep film. Premiered at Cannes, won the Queer Palm where it was there. It's been much anticipated here. You can see that it's flown on loan inside the first hour of being in store, and it was the last score before his death by the Oscar-winning composer Richie Sakamoto. So that this is a really important film, and glad to have that bit of quality Blu-ray I got in. Another Blu-ray. It's been a Blu-ray kind of week, to be honest. You know, these are all strong films. With The New Boy, an Aussie drama from Warwick Thornton, who, again, I mean, some of these directors have got ridiculous pedigrees. He made Samson and Delilah, the great Aboriginal film, and he also made Sweet Country as well, which was Sam Neill in that? I think he was. But yeah, two good films. This one stars Cate Blanchett, focuses on a young orphaned Aboriginal boy who's brought into a Christian monastery that's run by a renegade nun. Sounds, I think, more fun than it is, but yeah, meant to be a great drama set in the mid-40s. And again, to highlight the score, this has a score by Nick Cave and Warren Ellis. I mean, wow. 4 films that, honestly, should be having people battering down my front door. Maybe. Finally, with the newbies, we have The Kill Room, a crime caper with a fine cast. Yes, it's just like it's the 90s all over again, isn't it? Who have we got in this? We got Uma Thurman. We got her daughter, Maya Hawke. We have Sam Jackson. We have Joe Manganiello, him, and Debbie Mazar. It just looks fun. It looks like direct-to-video movies used to be like. Just a epic crime caper, dark comedy, bit of fun, and it's also really, really, really cheap. So, yeah, from a financial point of view, from a fiscal point of view, I was very pleased with that. Onto the boutiques again, first week of the month, so you're not going to get anything kind of mega, but there's two here that I'm quietly excited about. We have The Small Back Room, which will fly into my Studio Canal Vintage Classics section. Classic it very well is. It's a Powell and Pressburger film. An overlooked gem is how it's described, and until now, I've actually not had a copy of it. I cannot this. I don't know if you know the one. It's I think it was released by ITV DVD a number of years ago. The Powell and Pressburger collection had 11 of their films in it. I thought it was in there. I just presumed it was in there. It's not. So this is the first time that The Small Back Room has been at Snips, which is really exciting. And yeah, hopefully people will appreciate that. Finally, with the fresh produce. Sorry, I've got an Amazon parcel. It's one stop away, so I'm hoping to get this in before the door gets battered down by some guy with a parcel. Vampire Circus, debut film for Robert Young, who go on to direct such British classics as Fierce Creatures and Splitting Heirs, as well as the Sci-Fi Channel classic Blood Monkey. It was, funnily enough, a shoot that didn't go to plan. It went a week over, and it was shut down when it went a week over. And kind of everything was handed to the editor, Peter Musgrave, and kind of said, "Well, no, that's it. They're not shooting anymore. Just take this and make do with that. See what you can come up with." And they come up with Vampire Circus, which is actually pretty good. Put out by ITV Studios, not renowned for making a wonderful job of their Blu-ray releases, but this isn't bad. It's got a documentary called The Bloodiest Show on Earth, featuring interviews with Joe Dante and David Prowse, and a few other bits and bobs, to be honest. So, it's not a bad little set. So, yeah, that is this week's Fresh Produce, a very nice number of releases. High on quality this week, which is really, really, really cool, and fairly low on expense, which is also quite cool, because there's a lot coming in this month, which is nuts. But I shall guide you through that in the coming weeks. Anyway, that's enough with the newbies, and let's go on tour, which will see me right here, because the on tour bit is just above my head. I'll be back. We're going on tour, which isn't very far from here, really. I have hanging above my head, well, I'll show you in a second, a Mark Polonia section. I know most of you will scoff at the name Mark Polonia, but I love his movies. They're just perfect. They're 70 minutes long. They're like matinee movies. There's no bad language, there's no blood and gore, there's no nudity or anything like that, and they're just fun. Sometimes, like I've said this in previous weeks, sometimes movie watching isn't necessarily about quality. It's just about having fun. Too often we remove ourselves from the central aspect of doing something for fun. It's got to be critically acclaimed, blah, blah, blah. No, just watch something because it's fun. It doesn't have to be an impeccable piece of cinema. But anyway, Mark Polonia started out with his brother John. John has since passed. But yeah, they're from Wellsboro in Pennsylvania. They started out making films at a ridiculously young age. It was like, teenagers. I think their first feature was completed when they were 16, and by 18 they'd made and released what's probably considered to be their peak feature, which was Splatter Farm, which is really, really good. The older films haven't yet come to DVD in certainly a form that is ready for collection. Hopefully that should be on the horizon sometime soon, as certainly their legacy, their pedigree is growing with every passing year, and they are regarded as sort of the perfect cult filmmaker. But yeah, Mark's out on his own now, and he's in partnership with his son Anthony, and just making some really cool films. With these movies, you'll see them using the same stock company of characters, stock company of actors, which is really nice. You kind of get to know them a little bit, and also they have great FX work. Mark is well, no, they don't have. They have FX work that's a really good effort for the money that they cost, because they use a guy by the name of Brett Piper, who you might know because he had a double bill released through Vinegar Syndrome the year before last. I think it was The Battle for the Lost World, on a double bill with Mutant something. I forget. It's over there. I'm not going to grab it, but yeah. Anyway, I picked up 5 more Mark Polonia films with that parcel I got last week that had the Blue Underground spaghetti westerns in from MVD. I just couldn't resist. I mean, there's great stuff. A couple of new films that have really just come out this past month, like Teddy Scare has just come out. So has Pandasaurus, which I saw at the weekend, which was good fun, a bit like a mockumentary with some rather epic stop motion work in it. Other stuff that's come in this batch is Sister Krampus. We have a bit of Bigfoot action with House Squatch, and also more Bigfoot action with Bigfoot versus Zombies. But let's have a look up at the Mark Polonia section. Bear with me a second. So this is like Mark Polonia, just in this little box. I tried to design these little add-on sections like this that I could position in weird places around the store to kind of utilize every pocket of space. But anyway, all I've got in this Polonia section so far is, what have we got? I'm just going to flash these over to you. We have Alien Surveillance. We have Amityville. Oh, you love these. Amityville Exorcism. We have Cocaine Shark. Don't know where they got that one from. Doll Shark. You see a theme coming up, can't you? Feeders 3. The first 2 feeders are quite something. So yeah. Have Jurassic Prey, written by my good friend John Oak Dalton. We have Jurassic Shark, Jurassic Shark 2, and Jurassic Shark 3, Seavenge. All good stuff. One of the classics is undoubtedly Amityville in Space. And in this last batch we have Motorboat, more of a straightforward horror film. We have Noah's Shark. That's Noah's Shark, again written by John Oak Dalton, who I'm currently assisting in a screenplay that he's writing, but that's a long story. We have the sequel to their magnum opus Splatter Farm, which is called, surprisingly, Return to Splatter Farm. Sand World, which is kind of Dune-esque. We have Saurians 2, sequel to Saurians, which is good. Good fun. Sharkula, one of my favourites. Yeah, because Count Dracula goes so well with shark, and of course one of their epics, Shark Encounters of the Third Kind. Yeah, now you've seen these, you're kind of thinking they're really not my cup of tea, and that's fine. But I like them. I think it's important. They're all region free. I think it's important to give films like that a home, because so often in this world of Tubi, films like this are made and they'll appear on a streaming site like Tubi and they'll just disappear. They're not going to be there forever, and it's so important to give little micro budget films like that a physical home, because it terrifies me that there's great filmmakers out there making movies for streaming and there's never going to be a physical release of them. I'm just glad with Mark Polonia, the majority of stuff that he does come to DVD and Blu-ray. So at least we can have it physically. So at least when Tubi, Fox pulls Tubi at some point, which it inevitably will, then at least something remains. And they're just really good fun. There's 2 more of his coming out in September that I can't wait to get hold of. And like I say, I ordered some more from the SRS liquidation sale that went on last week, which had some really, really cool bargains for like £2. But yeah, that's my Mark Polonia section, which so far remains untouched by human hand. But hopefully, with this, people might be curious. I might start to want to enter the world of Mark Polonia, which, like I say, is such immense fun. They're all 70 minutes. They're all easy watches. And I think once you've watched one, I think you may well get the bug for watching a few more. Moving on, let's have a look at what is on loan. Now, quick point of clarity. The comment section last week, the wonderful Beowulf broke down the likelihood of someone asking for the same film at the same time on the same day in a library of 16,000 films. He said it would happen once every 9,000 years or something. Unfortunately, one of my customers, Lee, he reminded me that it happened only 2 weeks ago with Dead Heat. He came in asking for Dead Heat, and a customer had just literally taken it out that day. Similarly, it happened last year with Workmeister Harmonies, the Bellatar films. Two people wanted that on the same day. I mean, that's just crazy. But yeah, anyway, Bellatar is going out again there. One of my customers has taken the full collection, which means he's in for quite some viewing experience. They're really good, but I'm not sure if I'd be one to watch them all back to back. That's quite the challenge. Same guy came in and said one of those questions that make you sort of pinch yourself and make you think you've been drinking all day or something. He said, do you have any Albert Pune films? I was like, well, how many people have asked that in the last 30 years? I can count on a single hand, but it's very cool that someone has. And of course I do. I have loads of Albert Pune films because my good friend Matty Budrevich is a massive Puneophile. And yeah, he absolutely loves him, and he's sworn me, he's over the last 10 years of us working together, he's gradually weaned me on to appreciate the fine job that Albert Pune did. He's dead. And yeah, so this customer took a couple, well, I say a couple, he took all four Nemesis films. I know there's Nemesis 5, doesn't really count. All four Nemesis films in this box set from 101 Films, and he also took the brilliant Rutger Hauer starring Split Second. So I mean, what an epic way to be consuming more Pune. You know, fantastic. Great to see Albert Pune renting out here. I happened to have a conversation with one of my customers about boxes. I'm on the lookout at the moment for a load of Blu-ray boxes, cheap, because a few of my spines are eroding as the plastic does. So I need a couple of blue ones, I need some Scanavo clear ones, and of course I need some yellow ones, which aren't the easiest thing to get a hold of. And I said, because this customer works in the business, I said, if you ever see any yellow Blu-ray boxes going cheap, just give me a shout and I'll buy them off you. And he went up to his car, did an internet search. I said, I can't find any on the internet, but I just stumbled across a website called Shameless Films. Do you have any of their films? I'm like, well, yeah, because most of them. And he said, this film looks amazing. Can I rent it? So he has. He's rented Stage Fright, Michel Soavi's film, purely by accident, by doing a Google search for yellow cases. So yeah, I mean, what a great way into the Shameless catalogue of films. What a brilliant Italian film to look at. That is so cool. I had another new customer this week, as I do every week, almost every day now, which is pretty insane. And it always makes me think, if you were to come here or go to any video store for the first time, what would be the first films that you would want to rent? Would you have it in your mind? Would you just take a browse round and see what appealed to you? And yeah, it really fascinates me, people's first rentals. I don't know what I'd do. I don't know if I'd think about it beforehand. I don't know if I'd browse the catalogue online. I don't know if maybe there's something I've been wanting to own that's not out of print. I don't know what I'd do, but have a think. You tell me what you'd be renting in the comment section below. Anyway, this is what this new customer rented. He rented a double bill of Umberto Lenzi's Cannibal Ferox and Heavenly Creatures by Peter Jackson. So, I mean, that is quite the unique double header, quite frankly. But a great one, nevertheless. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, welcome to the fold, and welcome to renting very cool films. My favourite film of all time rented out this week: Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, which is great to see. I love this movie so much. Again, it was someone rented it because I recommended it, so they might just they're either going to love it or hate it, aren't they? Really, but I always tell them, if you get time, please watch the documentary Poultry in Motion, which is one of the best making of documentaries that you'll ever see, especially in the field of low budget filmmaking. It's absolutely fascinating. No, someone else this week said, Dave, can I have your advice? I want to get into film noir. Where would you begin? Well, where would you be? So there's 100 different places you could begin, but as I said, I pointed him in the direction of one of my favourite film noirs, which is Edgar Gielma's Detour, because I think, it's an easy watch. It's a short film, and it kind of is noir personified. So yeah, I sent him home with this. So hopefully he'll like it, because it is. I think it's just a perfect movie, and it's one that I've revisited a few times, and the remake as well, which is a weird one. But yeah, hope he likes it. But great to see Detour renting out. Another unusual request this week was for Lawn Dogs, which I really, really do like. It hasn't been seen in this country since the days of VHS, and I've said that a few times over the last few weeks. And that's a mystery, because this is a really good film, a bona fide classic, and it's just not around on physical media in this country. If it is anywhere, I don't know. Well, obviously it's in my hand, but beyond DVD, this is a Dutch import. But I'm just pleased that the customer could take it home and rent it. Good to see some network are renting out, as always, with the unique pairing of Peter Cushing and Stanley Baker. So yeah, always glad to see network movies renting out. We'll be seeing if Old Gold Media put some of these films back out onto disc in the coming months and years, hopefully, but we shall see. And finally, a shout out for Robert Ange, who are watching Nymphomaniac 1 or 2. I know Rob was quite taken by my customer, who said that Dogville, or the experience of watching Dogville, has ended any desire to watch any Lars von Trier film ever again. So yeah, Rob came in and said, what can I rent by Lars von Trier that's good? So I said, Nymphomaniac. Rob might not come back again, but we'll see. So yeah, that is a little selection of what's been renting out at your local video store in the past few days. Usually look at the comments section now. Oh, before we do, we had a few little bits in. I know we haven't got a what's in the box this week, but let's just have a look. A bit of a late arrival from last week's list, or last week's release schedule was You Can Call Me Bill, which is a documentary about William Shatner, who I think is a fine human being. So yeah, looking forward to that. Documentary on William Shatner. I imported this from Germany, which was Fred Williamson's Foxtrap. I do like a bit of Fred. It's alright. Picture quality is far better than obviously the VHS edition and any subsequent Blu-ray. But the picture just looks a little bit washed out. When you've got an image and you turn the brightness quite high, and it makes the contrast and all the colours kind of look a bit washed out. Yeah. It's alright, it's fine. Like I say, it's better than anything that's been out there, but it wasn't cheap, and it's a bit of a one of those, to be honest. Before Blade gets drunk, stay. This came in, which is probably the most expensive single film I've bought. for the shop. I don't think it will ever break even, never mind get into profit, but who would rent this? Quite frankly, because it's just like the most abhorrent film you could ever imagine. It's grim, absolutely grim. Awful, shocking, horrible, a real chore to endure. But the soundtrack's amazing. Rizzo Talani did the soundtrack, and it is absolutely fantastic. You can get it as a disc in this set. No, I mean, it's one of those films that you kind of you get in begrudgingly because you know that it's a piece of history, but it is just a grim piece of cinema that is just unrelenting in its horror portrayal of some abhorrent racism. But yeah, a fascinating historical document nonetheless, and with some mega documentaries on one of the discs, two 90-minute documentaries, which are just quite something. So yeah, Goodbye Uncle Tom is now in on 4-disc limited edition Blu-ray. Oh, these came in today. I don't think they're anything remotely exciting, but I will show you nevertheless. It may be something that tickles your fancy. What do we have? Oh, Air America. Yeah, it didn't have Air America. Customer asked for that the weekend. So, yeah, he will be back in for that. Bizarre the things you don't have, isn't it? But never mind. So, yeah, Air America is now in stock. And finally, what was this one? Another one, yeah. 3,000 Miles to Graceland. Another one of those requests that I'm happy to get in because... well, why not? That's what it's about. It's about creating a library that hopefully satisfies most urges. What have you been commenting about this week? Scolder22 says, happy birthday, thank you. And congrats on another great episode. Dr. Impossible of Counterpunk, The Deliberate Stranger. We spoke about this last week, the Bundy TV movie. And I said at the time, oh, you know, I can't believe it's such a rarity. And lo and behold, it's not really. I've just ordered it for work. It's on Warner Archive, and it should be in here within the next couple of weeks. So that's really exciting. Be thrilled to watch that again. And I can recommend that to quite a number of people. So yeah, The Deliberate Stranger is coming in. Yeah, Dr. Impossible says, probably the most compelling and remarkable performance I've seen by an actor delivering a true life character. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, and Steve Rosbach, he's great. One of those great character actors that never really gets his due. Brilliant. Film Wolf. Hi Dave, yes, I second the call for an on-tour through your spaghetti westerns. Yes, we'll do that next week. I've got 77 up there. I counted. Quiet week. So yeah, we'll have a little look. I've not seen many, but I do love them. I was looking at went to a record shop today to look at some soundtracks that came out for Record Store Day 2024. There's a few cool Ennio Morricone soundtracks on vinyl I must get in for the store because they look really, really cool. Film says about Michael Paré. You know, started strong with Eddie and the Cruisers, which no release in the UK, and Streets of Fire, which Rob didn't like at all. Which is amazing. Yes, it is amazing film, Wolf, damn you. Streets of Fire is an amazing film, and whoever thinks otherwise is clearly something wrong. But yeah, why didn't Michael Parry's career kick off to the next level? I don't know, it's a weird one. And yeah, you mentioned Klaus Kinski, surely worthy of his own episode of Renting the Unrentable. A terrible human being, but incredibly watchable. Yeah, Kinski's a bad one. We've just done an audio commentary for Crawl Space, which is coming out from 88 Films next month, I think. And we started off the commentary by absolutely laying into what a horrific human being Kinski was. Because to praise him, and to praise his work as an actor, because he was a terrific actor, you unfortunately have to clarify that he was an absolute piece of scum. But yeah, that was a weird start to commentary, and I actually thought at the time that we went a bit too far, and I thought it would be edited out by 88 Films, but actually it hasn't come out yet, so we don't know. If there's a long silence for the first 10 minutes of Crawl Space on the audio commentary track, then you know why that is. Doyo says, happy birthday, Dave. Great to hear you talking about Agfa. I've loved every one of their releases I've seen so far. Yeah, even the unbelievable Bat Pussy. Yeah, Bat Pussy is quite something, isn't it? I personally would always loved hearing about Gary Graver films, hardcore or not. And we hope to hear about it once more when it gets closer. Yeah, I will actually inform you about how the Gary Graver biography is doing. Got about another week's writing to go on it, then yeah, it should be on the 1st of July, which is pretty cool. By the way, could the upcoming Arrow box set be Volume 2 of Inside the Video Store? No, it's not. Although that is still firmly on the cards. That will happen, but not yet. This is another box set for something else, which I've just started prepping this week. Beowulf again, your mise en scene this week included a bottle of semi-skimmed milk. I thought you'd been watching A Clockwork Orange. No, I had not been watching A Clockwork Orange. Jonah Fish, another great episode. I first watched the McPherson Project while in the midst of digitizing close to 300 of my late grandfather's home videos. Needless to say, watching a horror film shot in a home video style during this time really enhanced the experience. You could imagine that, can't you? Wow, that's pretty insane. Indio Phantom Sofa Cinema says, I'm totally in sync with you on the new films, especially the remakes of June. Just not for me at all, but glad the others are digging it. And yeah, that is strange. Most of the new releases just really aren't my cup of tea. And that's it's no gatekeeper thing. It's not me saying, oh wow, they don't make them like they used to, because they make some terrific films at the moment. And I do hate that, there's been no good horror films since 1994. That stupid thing that people do, because it is a very gatekeeper thing. No, real horror only happened when I was growing up. All these kids, they don't know what I hate that kind of arrogant thing, dismissing people's experience of stuff. But no, there's loads of great films made today, but I'm not a fan of the big, humongous, multi-million-dollar movies. I'd rather see far more $10 million movies than $100 million movies. They're way more interesting. Graham Reed says, nice to see the love for Soldier. Yes. Multiple cuts should be on a Blu-ray if it happens. UK version is cut not for violence but for timing reasons. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, it's a good film, Soldier, and one of those that kind of disappeared in this country. Like I said, I just got it on the clip case from Warner there, and yeah, it has dated. Graham does say that in reference to the public information films that we were talking about last week, there is a network double DVD, probably hard to find, called Charlie Says, which collates 290 of them. That's quite something, isn't it? Daniel Turner, Butch Shinobi is a blind buy as well. So far it's very good. Excellent. I can't wait to see that. And he has a vote for the Spaghetti Western section. Don't Tell Show says, Nowhere Fast has to be one of the best fake band songs in any movie. It is. Yeah, Jim Steinman's song is absolutely tremendous. Blue Crayon says, nice Agva section. Yeah, it will be frustrating if 101 have given up on them. But remember, Agfa releases are completely region free, so you can import them with a clear conscience, because they will play on your player if it's not region hacked. Terry says, good episode, Dave. On general, how many movies rent out a week? And what's the percentage of Hollywood blockbusters to boutique? How many movies rent out a week? A couple of hundred. What's the percentage of Hollywood blockbusters to boutiques? I'd say about 50-50, to be honest. Yeah, no, about 30% Hollywood blockbuster, 30% boutique Blu-rays, 30% back catalogue DVD of stuff like 3,000 Miles to Graceland. So it's a real mix. And Rob Stringer says, get that milk in the fridge. The milk is drunk. The milk is drunk. Aren't we all on life? Yeah, thank you for your comments. Keep them coming. Good to talk to everybody online. And yeah, just keep them going. Quiz will be back at some point. Like I said, I have everything ready to go out finally, so I will post those in the next few days, and we can restore the quiz, because this comment section might be a little bit boring because it's just me reading from a laptop and occasionally looking up at the screen when I remember to. So it's not the most thrilling of sections, but I do find people talking and sharing their thoughts, opinions, and stories very, very interesting. So hopefully you do too. And let's move on to some Sleeping Giants. Yeah, let's finish the show off with some Sleeping Giants. I thought I'd do a themed Sleeping Giant this week because what I found, that's quite morbid, but when someone dies who's a well-known filmmaker, especially if I'm at home, I'll immediately get the urge to watch a few of their films via a streaming service. So you'll go on, say Wes Craven died or something, and you'll see that there's hardly anything there. And it's scattered around so much. And that's one of the frustrations about streaming, really, isn't it? You know, you can't... The work of an auteur, the work of a director, it's very rarely collated into one place. And that's just so maddening. I'll give an example. I just picked an example off the top of my head today. And I thought Toby Hooper. Toby Hooper is one of the great horror directors. And yes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is available to stream. Life Force, I think, is on Arrow channel. I think Invaders from Mars is there somewhere. But, you think about this one. The great Toolbox Murders. Brilliant remake. Better than original. And it's just not streaming. Insane, isn't it? Absolutely insane. Got a great edition this as well, because disc 2 has the American Nightmare documentary, which is really, really interesting. So yeah, this Anchor Bay edition of this movie is really, really cool. Toolbox Murders, not streaming. Spontaneous Combustion, one of his most underrated movies, not streaming anywhere. Available in this country as a very cut price budget DVD from Hollywood DVD. That's average, to say the least. But the film is wonderful. It needs a bit of TLC. You can't get, sorry for knocking the mic, this blue, I don't know if it's still in print. It was released in the US by Cheesy Movies in 2018. Just pathetic. And they spelled Toby's name wrong. A Toby Hooper film. Yes, it's Dennis's brother, presumably. Crazy. So yeah, Spontaneous Combustion needs more love, but it won't get more love if it's not streaming and people forget about it, which is crazy. Now this is the insane one. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is not streaming anywhere. Nutty, isn't it? I mean, this lush, lavish Arrow edition is probably way out of print now. I'm sure they still got it for sale. Have they still got the license for that? I don't know. But yeah, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. It's a stunning piece of work. When did it come out? 10 years ago. Good Lord. That's a bit crazy, isn't it? But yeah, Texas Chainsaw 2 isn't streaming. Just bizarre. And then I thought with this one, Dangerous Tonight. I know you wouldn't expect this to stream with it being a fairly obscure TV movie. But still, it's on DVD. Yeah. A little bit nutty. This is really underrated. This is very cool indeed. Major Namek, D. Wallace Stone, Arlie Ermey. What a cast. It's a good little film. But yeah, weird. But it's just one of the things I kind of picked up on with stuff like that. And that if you want to watch a director's career, you can't do it by streaming. But here, of course, you can come in and you can browse all of Wes Craven's films in a Wes Craven section. You can browse all of John Carpenter's films in the John Carpenter section, which is so important for kids who are growing up, who are finding filmmakers they want to latch onto. You know, you can see Fassbender, John Woo, Truffaut, Junet, Tsukamoto, Ozu, Boon Jong-ho, Takashi Miike, Beat Takashi. It's important for next generation kids to find out who the great filmmakers are. And they can't do it when one film is on Netflix, one film is on Prime, one film is on Shudder, one film is on Apple. It's crazy. It drives me insane. It's so important for people to understand who makes these films and the people that created these iconic masterpieces. So yeah, that's just one of my irritants. But I thought the Sleeping Giant this week will devote to Toby Hooper and the wealth of stuff of his that just isn't available anywhere, which is just nutty, quite frankly. Especially with the likes of Arrow streaming site and Shudder as well. You would have thought that they would be curating Toby Hooper's sections, but there we go. Right, we best be off because I've been rambling on for far too long today. Thank you for watching again. As usual, boring bit, you can follow the store on Facebook at Snips Movies and on Instagram by the same search term. I'm on Twitter at the Dave Wain. And yeah, just keep in touch. Tell me what you would like to see, what you wouldn't like to see. Tell me what you want to know. But yeah, just keep talking, keep the comments coming. And then next week we'll have a little look at Spaghetti Western, and I hope we've got a very exciting parcel from Full Moon on the way, a very exciting parcel from Vinegar Syndrome on the way. So hopefully they might be in, but they might not, I forget. But yeah, we shall see. Anyway, next week promises to be a packed show. So I will see you in 7 days' time.